Hello, welcome to my tech farm. WeCreat sent me a product for the testing, and this is a WeCreat Vision 20-watt fully enclosed diode laser engraver. It has very interesting features like auto lifting box with the settings of the autofocus. The working area is A3. Properly this means 420 by 297 millimeters. And since it is enclosed, we have the limitation along the z-axis. This is 140 millimeters. The lifespan is approximately 10,000 hours, and I calculate with 6 hours daily use, this means approximately 4.5 years. It has built-in air assist, rotary roller and camera for the positioning. The maximum speed is 600 millimeters per second. As always with this kind of videos, I'm talking about the safety. Don't forget, these are tools which require some safety equipment. Usually with those open DIY laser engravers, the first thing is to suggest that you should always wear those safety glasses. Here they are not necessary because this is fully enclosed engraver and there can be more people in that room and similar. The second suggestion is to use it in good ventilated room. But again, this is fully enclosed and we can exhaust those fumes very easily out of that room. The third one, which still exists, that you should never leave the engraver without the attention, especially during the cutting. But the air assist again helps here reduce the risk of catching the flame. And another good thing that the built-in material can resist fire, which is also great for the safety. Other specifications you can see on the website. Let's see what's in the box. The packaging is really good, and actually the hardest part in all this preparation was unboxing this unit. And inside there are two smaller boxes too, with some equipment. This was packed inside the engraver. Let's see the most important parts. This is the air assist pump. I'm already familiar with this one. It is not too strong, but very quiet. And it is good that it will get the power from the unit. This means it can be operated by the software. Now what I think that this pipe is a little bit too small for the air flowing. I will test it later, but usually I saw bigger diameter pipes for the air assist. And we also have this pipe for the air, which can be extended, but I will use my own. We have the rotary roller, the emergency stop button, the power supply unit. The output is 24 volts, 6 amperes. And then we have some cables, sample cards, user manual, and some tools. Let's take a closer look inside. This is the laser module. This is a Cartesian style movement. This means that this is the stepper motor for the y-axis and there is the stepper motor for the x-axis. The linear motion is with some metallic wheels on these metallic rods. I can see nice drag chains here, and for the y-axis. This is the fan for the exhaust. I will plug the pipe later. And I can see 4 lead screws for the z-axis, so it will lift the box higher and it will set the focus automatically. And this is the camera and some LED lights on the top. This is the back side, the opening for the exhaust fan. This is connecting the antenna, the power for the air assist, air for the air assist, the main switch, DC input and USB for connection with the laptop. This is my own pipe. I will not use this here because this is my temporary solution until I'm filming here in our living room. And there is the other side. Everything is connected, well, except my laptop, and this emergency stop button goes between the power supply unit and the laser engraver. Let's give it a power. This is cool. It is zeroing now. At the first look, it looks like it has some scratches on the top of this surface, but actually it has the protection film on it. It was a little bit hard to remove it, but it was quite satisfying anyway. So far, it really gives the feeling of the good quality product, but let's connect it to the network and to see how it cuts and engraves. First, let me show you how it works because it's really interesting. I will place this piece of cardboard inside. The software I will use is WeCreat Make It. I already created an account and I will start now a new project. And this is the picture from the camera, so you can see this cardboard. And I will just place some circle just for the quick testing. and I already tried, so I know the settings approximately. And now I have to start the autofocusing. It will do the autofocusing automatically. It turns off the light and properly use that red spot on the cardboard. So this will be without contact, which is important because this is soft material. This goes down and it's finished. Now I can click on Start, Send, and now I have to press this button and it will do the engraving. And this is that circle. The position is as on the previewed image on the screen. Now let's check the accuracy of the camera. I have here approximately 1-inch circle and I want to engrave a smaller one inside. I believe that there is a difference if the object is exactly below the camera or in the edge. So first I will start with the center. As you can see, the object is now exactly below this camera. I'm adding a smaller circle inside this drawn one. Already measured, the inaccuracy is approximately 2.2 millimeters in the Y direction, and now let's place it in a corner. And this time the inaccuracy was 3.5 millimeters, again in the Y direction. I decided to do the calibration of the camera. It is in the settings. We have some warnings here, and then it asks for A3 plywood. Well, I don't have the plywood for this. I will just use some ordinary paper sheets. It will draw several crosses, and this will be completely automatic. It will try to read them with the camera. These are those crosses. And now let's repeat the accuracy test. Wow, this time I cannot see the line. Maybe here it is a little bit visible, so really on the spot now. Now let's check the capabilities of this 20-watt diode laser. These are the materials I'm regularly using in this kind of videos. 3 and 6 mm plywood, MDF wood, 20 mm wood, stainless steel, anodized aluminum, black acrylic, and at the end I will have some kind of documentation, at least with the 3 mm thick plywood. This is 3 mm thick plywood, and I'm starting with the engraving, and for the engraving I'm not using the air assist, only for the cutting. One of the disadvantages of this enclosure is that I cannot show you nicely on the camera what is happening there, but with the bare eyes I can clearly see inside. In software I prepared some squares. The power will be 80%, but I'm varying the speeds in this case. I'm impressed. Even on a 70 mm per second it looks nice. Maybe I'll try 80 mm per second engraving my logo. And I want to try with air assist and without air assist. I'm moving this logo so it will be next to previous one, and in the settings I am enabling the air assist, and this means it will be enabled for the whole project. That's something what I already know, just confirmed with this testing. So engraving without air assist is always much cleaner compared to the air assist. The air assist is important for the cutting. So I believe very important upgrade in their software would be to have different parameters for line, because the engraving I want to do without air, and at the end in the same operation I want to do the cutting with air assist. And now engraving a grayscale image. This is Padme for the Star Wars, and these are different settings for this plywood. No changes at all. The estimated time, and I will measure the real engraving time. And the final time was 3 minutes and 50 seconds, so much slower. The estimated time was not too accurate, but with completely different settings for the plywood, this looks great. This is the error in the plywood, but otherwise this is perfect. This means the software is very well prepared. And now let's see the cutting capabilities of this 20-watt diode laser. This is 3 mm thick plywood. Full power, the speed between 3 and 15 mm per second, and very interesting, the default settings for 3 mm plywood is exactly this, the 7 mm per second. And this is the other side, so we can see that in X direction it is a little bit stronger compared to the Y direction. And now two cuttings to see the effect of the air assist. This is also a very smart feature. Well, the effect of the air assist is quite obvious. Not only the hole is cleaner, but also the cut and out part compared to this one. First I thought that this pipe is too small, but actually the air assist worked great. The documentation is prepared, and now I can move to 6mm plywood. It's finished. I could see a flame from time to time, so it is not good to go with very slow speeds. Well, it was cutting out even on 4mm per second. The default for this material is actually 3, but as you can see on slower speeds it catches the flame. On 4mm per second it is almost good, at least on this side, but definitely bigger speed and more passes is better. Let's try here 2 passes. And yes, if possible, always use higher speeds with more passes. You will have nicer cuttings. This is 3mm thick MDF wood, very hard for cutting for weaker lasers. It was cutting out on 2mm per second speed, on 4 and 6 not really, but again I can see some difference in Y and X axis. And now 3mm thick black acrylic, and usually the settings are very similar to that MDF wood. It is hard to see the black acrylic on the camera, so I'm using this trick. I place here the light so I have some reflection behind it. The light I use only for the preview with the camera because I don't want to disturb the autofocus. And now the cutting. At the first look it was cutting out only at the lowest speed, but let's take a closer look. As you can see, it was cutting out actually on any of these speeds. Just a small press and it's out. And really nice sharp edges we have with the hose and also the cutting out parts too. Let's try to cut this 20mm wood. I don't want to go too slow, but even the 2mm per second is quite slow. I will try 2 passes, but I'll be ready to press the emergency stop button if it catches some flame. It goes down a little bit, and now the second pass, but I could see almost even the first pass it was quite good cutting. So I started here and it was almost cutting out completely. Not bad for 20-watt diode laser. And now engraving anodized aluminum. These tags are from Churbaka company. I would like to engrave the anodized aluminum because there are no fumes. It is very easy because it is not sensitive to settings. And here I try to engrave somewhere between these 2 lines because we have very nice positioning. I'm changing the material. Aluminum sheet, coated blue. Well, it's not blue, but it will be fine. And the first one is the fill engrave and then the outline, and completely different settings. So the default settings works nice with the fill engraving, but for the outlines it was a little bit too weak. Let's try one more time here. Pressing the button. Much better now, almost perfect, but still it could be a little bit stronger or the engraving speed slower. So this was engraved on 80% power and 50mm per second speed. And one last test with aluminum. Engraving the outlines of my Tech 1 logo. This was real-time speed. And finally this looks how I wanted to, 100% power and 20mm per second speed. And the final test engraving on the stainless steel. Definitely I should reduce the power because it started with the warping. Again, different settings for still the outline, and this is fill engrave, and we have some samples. We can change the colors. Stainless steel, engraving some circles with the default settings. Wow, these default settings works really great. I don't have to overmelt the material to have nice engravings. This is the outline. Only this should be in blue color, but let's play a little bit more with the settings to see different colors here. And now let's see if I can get some colors, and this will be speed up video. This was very pleasant surprise. First time I did this with the diode laser engraver. Earlier I tried only with the fiber laser. So the speed is 40 millimeters per second from 20 to 60% power. And now let's test the rotary unit. This stepper motor will replace the y-axis. It has to be attached here using these two bolts, and the cable goes here. Well, everything is installed and connected, and now I want to engrave some text around this cylindrical object. It is 50 mm in diameter, and I already checked these jaws are not correct because if I use this one it is too big, but this one is too small, so I have to replace the jaws. I don't really understand why they place this locking material on the threads, because it will be much easier to remove or insert these bolts if the thread would be clean. Well, actually I try to use these holders. Well, actually in this case I can use them from the inside. In software I have to select this is the laser cylinder, and also I have to enter the diameter, which is 50 millimeters in this case. And this design is from edge to edge, so this means it should go completely around the object. The autofocusing. And now it will start with engraving, pressing the button. It's finished and it should be almost on the whole perimeter. Exactly as designed or planned, this text is using the whole perimeter of this cylindrical object, so this rotary unit together with the software works great. Now some quick conclusions for the end. Well, this product was really pleasant surprise. Not only because all those new features like fully enclosed, camera for positioning, completely automatic autofocus, but even small details like, I don't know, tray for cleaning when the cutting is finished, or it turns off the fan when the engraving is finished. It sounds obvious, but it is not the case with most of the engravers. The enclosure works great, but in a most top position I can see some gap here, but during the operation it's a little bit lower, and let's say it catches the 95% of the smoke. About the air assist, first I thought that it will be a little bit weak, actually not the pump but the pipe, but you saw on the test it performs great. About the software, it works great too. It was a very pleasant surprise. Importing also works correctly. Maybe three things I would like to mention. First, I was missing the pen function, you know, moving. When I zoom in, I would like to move it a little bit, but I couldn't do it with the mouse. I have to zoom out and zoom somewhere else. I couldn't find the solution. How can I do it differently? The second is the remaining time. During the engraving, first the estimated time was not too accurate, but it would be good to see during the longer engraving the remaining time in seconds, how much we have to wait. And the third, the most important, is to turn on and off the air assist by the properties of the line. So I want to do some lines for the engraving, which will work without air assist. Say that's finished, I want to do the cutting, and to those lines I want to add the property to use the air assist. Currently, we cannot do it otherwise separately only. First, we have to do all the engravings without air assist, and then in the settings turn on the air assist, and then we can do the cutting. But since it is operated by the engraver, it would be great if we could add these properties to the lines. Otherwise, a really highly recommended product from my side. It is not cheap, but really good quality, and I'm not paid or sponsored to talk about this. This is really my opinion. If you have some other experience with this laser engraver, write me a few lines in the comment section, share your experience with others. Thank you for watching, and happy and safe engraving.